Hello everyone, this is Dan Gramza and welcome to Advanced Gramza Market Studies for Monday, April 15th. Well, what do we see here in this market? Well, first, we do have this persistent inflation. I guess you can think about that's kind of hanging out there as a dark cloud because that really prevents the Fed from doing something. And as you and I have talked about, the concern is we go into a recession, no signs of that. So what does it really mean? The Fed's got time on their hands. They really don't have to respond quickly to decrease interest rates. And they don't want a repeat of what happened in the 1970s when the Fed was lowering discount rate, the Fed funds rate, and then had to increase it. So that was one issue. But now we're talking about those earnings reports. Well, we've got JP Morgan. They had a 6% profit, but their interest rate income decreased more than expected. Wells Fargo, they had a decrease in 7% of profit. Weak borrowing demand is supposed to be the reason behind that. Citi, they had a loss after after spending on employment severance. They had some impact on their bottom line. And we got this Iran-Israeli situation, the geopolitical tension there, as well as Russia and Ukraine, is still out there. And the idea of a response from Iran is actually being considered fairly high. So markets do not like uncertainty. Stock markets. Commodity markets love uncertainty because that implies supply interruptions. So what we're seeing here right now, I think it's a bit of anxiety more than it is economic reality. We've got a few reports that came out on earnings. That doesn't necessarily mean what's going to be happening coming here. Earnings are important, no question. I think they're the backbone of a market. But what we did see is the S&P falling out of bed again. And typically we don't get more than one back to back. Are we going to see something like we saw the last two times that happened? Possibly, because we're at levels that we found buyers before. So that's a possibility inside day. Now, Sunday night, 5 o'clock Chicago time, Asia could help set the tone because Asia hasn't responded to this. And how they begin their session may give us some insights. Well, the buy level has been lowered to 5208. Over in the NASDAQ market, we traded through its sell level to buy level there in that market. And the difference there, excuse me, the difference there in that market is from this buy level to that sell level is $2,020 a contract. And then 18,324 is the next buy level. That's up here. So we had a bit of a break on that market. It's right where we've stopped and slowed down before. And again, I don't look for follow through. It's not typical behavior for this market. And when it comes to the Dow, another market that's continuing its down move, possibility of a change in direction, yes, but it failed, did not happen. And 38,543 is now the buy level in that market. Look for an inside type day. 38,000 even is the next objective. In the Russell, buy level there now is 2042, and the next objective is 1995. A little bit right there. But look for an inside day primarily. But that would be the next downside objective. Check out the euro. Dollar remains strong. 107.24 is now this buy level, very similar to the action we saw in the other markets. Looking for a day like this, an inside type day, or like what you see here, that kind of movement, that's what you'd look for here, a rest day in that market. The Swissy buy level remains at 111 even, sell level 110 even. So in between the figure is where we're still looking for a sideways movement. Now, let's talk about Mr. Yen. It went just a bit above that buy level and it failed. Did not work. So buyers did start to come in and there was just nothing behind it. And we see it backing off. The sell level there now, 67.73. Whoa, daddy. That is really cheap. But anyways, we'll see what happens here. A sideways move is what it implies. We are, as we've talked about, at significant levels. Did I say 66.15 is still the buy level for that market? If I didn't, I should have. Well, Aussie dollar. It also falls out of bed. What I found impressive with this is a clean close, no bounce, and it's right below these levels that we found buyers before. I do look for an inside type day. Again, how it opens in the Asia session is going to be very important for that market. 65.08 is now the buy level. Check out British pound. It also fell out of bed. And in this market, the difference here, I was just thinking of something here. I'm sorry to pause like this, but I want to check something before we go further. Yeah, this is right. Okay. That we take off. This is where it traded just above its buy level, but here's what it did on Friday. And we move it. There we go. Now that makes more sense to me. The buy level there is at 125.18, and it's a market that's really interesting to me because I don't expect that kind of volatility in that market. And so what we see here is the possibility of an inside to slightly lower. It's getting cheap when I think about this market. And the low objective here is at 124.10. Now, there we go. That looks a lot better too. Canadian dollar buy level there 72.89. Objective to the downside 72.50 to 40 would be the objective. And again, how it behaves on Sunday night, 5 o'clock Chicago time. What you see here is, again, a clean close. And that's not usual behavior on a Friday. Well, Bitcoin, it also broke to the downside. Buy level there, 67,890 is the buy level now in that market. Sideways move is expected. This doesn't have a fundamental reason to go up or down. At least that's my opinion. There's no consistent driver. I know a lot of people think it's a substitute for gold. And once in a while it does move in the same direction. I just don't see a strong correlation. 10-year notes, difference between the buy and sell level in that market is $625 a contract. Next sell level 108.04. I don't look for strong follow through in terms of price action here, so yields going down is what we'd be talking about. Sideways move there makes sense. Same thing for bonds, traded above its buy level. Dollar difference in that market is $1,343.75. 114.30 is the next sell level. Again, look for a rally but for the market to rotate back and forth. The objective 116.24 in that market to the upside. If you think about gold, it's starting to struggle a bit. It made new highs. I thought, whoa, daddy, it's going to take off, and look how we finished. Didn't give us that kind of movement. So we traded below its sell level and below its buy level, the buy level 23.79, and the sell level in that market, excuse me, is at 23.43. So for this market, I'm not looking for any dramatic move for gold. I look for a side. This is bearish. It does imply a down move in that market. 23.20 to 10 would be the next objective to the downside. But I don't think there's the fundamental drivers for that market. And look at silver. Very similar behavior. They traded below its sell level. And the dollar difference here between the buy and sell level, $1,500 a contract. 28.82 is the next buy level. And again, this is bearish. It implies 27.10 to 27 even as the next objective. This really, out of the markets we've seen so far, this is really one of the most bearish. Same thing for copper, but copper, again, the fundamentals don't imply a strong move here, and it does imply a down move. But here, look for an inside type day. 423 is the sell level in that market. It's in a neutral zone trade. Same thing for crude, also in a neutral zone trade. Buy level there, 86.50. We traded above that level, then traded below. It's 85.93 sell level in that market. Really interesting. I just, we have enough global tensions can drive that market. So we want to be cautious there. Higher is what I'm talking about. These last three candles, that's a bullish setup actually. This does imply an up day on Friday. Plus it's at levels we found buyers before. 180 is the buy level. And look at beans. I have my doubts about the sustainability of this, but right now buyers are here. The difference between the buyers and sellers is 450. The next sell level in that market, 1166. In the corn market, it also firmed up on the wayside report that we got coming out. Again, is this sustainable? I still have my doubts about that too, but the dollar difference here in that market's $100 a contract. Next sell level 430. And if you look at wheat, we've got some issues now with Russia trying to move some of their wheat. And apparently it's reflected here, but it didn't hold on to that belief. That's what I find interesting. And we came back below that sell level of 558. Look for a sideways move in that market. Well, those are my thoughts for today. I hope you found something helpful. Thank you for being with me this week. Look forward to being with you again on Monday. In the meantime, have a fantastic weekend and take care.